Hello, my little lovebirds. TonyaTko here, and I'm coming out making a very special video today. Many of you know that most of my viewers are male. I still have about a 70% male fan base, and people say that a lot of the videos that I make, are for women, but they're really for everybody. But I speak from a woman's point of view, so a lot of my videos are going to be about my perspective as a woman, helping to empower other women as well as men. And because more women write to me with their questions, so I don't really get a chance to engage in answering male questions because they just don't really write in. So today I'm actually coming out and I'm going to be speaking about something that I've learned as a woman over the years, and it specifically relates to men. Today's video is entitled "Never Ask a Man If He Needs a Hug." And so this is specifically from my point of view and what I've learned growing up. Never ask a man if he needs a hug. And if something in this video resonates with you, please pass it on to somebody else so that they can also benefit from it, and they can pass it on and come over to my Facebook page. A lot of these topics are started on my Facebook page and continue over to here. But never ask a man if he needs a hug. Give him one anyway, because chances are he could use one. Ladies, let me explain something to you. Let me tell you something that I have learned over the years from living and from watching other people. Let's talk about what we're dealing with here in regards to men. We have half of the population who, from the time that they were about 3 to 5 years old, they've been discouraged from expressing emotion, discouraged from or tender emotions, discouraged from crying, discouraged from expressing discomfort or anything that may make them seem weak. So we're talking about from that, and some of you have heard it. I mean, my sister was telling me a story about some guy she saw, roughing up his little 3-year-old, talking about he was about 3 to 5, talking about man up. And there he's a boy. So women are encouraged, well, girls are encouraged to cry, to let it out, and they get their hugs and all of that. And even as they grow older, they're encouraged to cry it out, talk it out, or whatnot. But we have men who are discouraged from very early on. So during the critical phase of production, they are discouraged from being able to express normal, healthy emotions. So they grow up thinking that it's normal or a part of their socialization, especially cultures that are a little more, I don't want to say misogynistic, but a little more paternal or male-centered, or very, macho. They, like, for example, I'm Caribbean American, and, a lot of the people who watch me are also Latino. And in certain communities, male machismo is very promoted. So especially in communities that are very, very macho, etc., men are discouraged from very early on from expressing emotions that may make them come off as weak. Not only that, number two, we have men who don't have anybody to talk to. They have male friends and whatnot, and if they have a problem, something's going wrong in their relationship, in their life, or whatever, their friend punch them off, forget about that, and then tell them just move on. If they're having some severe emotional, distress as a result of a relationship, a guy friend answer is going to be, F that B, let's go to a strip club, as if that's going to, solve the main issue. But so we're dealing with grown men who don't have anybody to talk to, and who have not had anybody to talk to for years, unless, they have, a close female friendship. And then even in those instances, Some of them can't even disclose full details, you know, to the women in their lives, so as to not appear to be quote unquote weak. So also, speaking of that, if the men are not in a relationship, you know, they may have a female friend whom they can talk to. But if a man is not in a relationship, number three, more likely than not, he has no true intimacy in his life. So if he so most of the intimacy that men, and we're not talking about sex, you know, because a man can pay a prostitute to, you know, to try to hug him, but that's just not going to be the same. And you know, the relationship that exists in casual sex is, you know, sex can be very lacking in intimacy. We're talking about the holding, you know, the stroking or whatnot, and the recharging back up of a man. So a lot of men don't have, if they're not in a relationship, they really don't have anybody rooting for them. They don't have anybody that they can, you know, let their guard down in front of, and somebody who can, you know, wrap their arms around them, cuddle with them and stuff like that. I mean, he's grown. I mean, he can ask his mom for a hug, but then at that point, you know, he's a man, and he may not really want to go to his mama for his hugs. And if you have a grown man who's running back and forth to his mother's house, you know, talking about he needs to hug mommy, you know, you have to decide for yourself. You have to decide for yourself on that one. So, you know, I want to tell women, because, you know, there's so many gender wars going on, each gender talking about how the other gender has it hard. You know, women feel oppressed and men feel like women have it easy and all this other stuff. I want to tell you, ladies, let me tell you, it is very hard out there for men. Very difficult. You know, they live in a very testosterone filled environment in which there's a lot of number one, men have a lot of things to, this video is a little bit longer than I wanted it to be. I just wanted to tell you guys to go out and hug a man today, but I'm going to get a little bit deeper right now. You know, men have a lot of issues that we women don't have to face. You know, I'm from New York, and I grew up in the Bronx. So, you know, there were certain things that I had to endure and come into contact with growing up as a teenager, in which I don't face anymore as a woman. You know, first of all, teenagers their hearts are beating a lot faster, they're a lot more amped up, and especially if you're from an angry environment, you know, you can come into contact with this when you're younger as a young lady, but as you grow up, that it's non-existent. I'm talking about people seeing you and wanting to attack you. This may sound crazy, but you know, they see you, they just want to attack you. What are you looking at? Oh, you stepped on my sneaker. Who are you? Oh, don't pass by me like that. Why are you all in my grills? You know, all type of, they see you, they just want to attack you. They're angry. And as you grow older, you know, women, they calm down, and those gangster bees, you know, they end up in prison anyway, you know, or they become mothers, and that softens them up. But men, on the other hand, men have to deal with a lot of a lot of aggression from other men. They have to deal with a lot of competition at work, a lot of, you know, competitiveness. They have to deal with a lot of different pressures that we don't have to deal with. You know, as a woman, if you know, once you become a mother and you have another life to look after, some of you out there who have become mothers, you know exactly what I mean. You become a mother, your child comes out, and then you're like, oh, I have to protect this being. Many men are ingrained. Well, I say, listen, I'm going to say most. I never go to full absolutes like this, but I've interviewed a lot of men. And most men, innately ingrained in their DNA, feel the need to take care of their families. Even if they don't have one yet, they feel this innate need to be a provider, to be the strong front, to be the head. And we're living in some very hard times right now, ladies, and you have, oh no idea what is going on. The panic that many men are facing, the sheer and utter despair. And then it becomes multiplied if he has a family, and if he doesn't know where their daily bread are going to come from. Oh, listen to me. It is hard because they have been taught, not only taught, but it's embedded in them, because I've spoken to men from many different cultures, and they feel this need. Number one, in the video where I talked about the 5 easiest ways to catch a husband, one of the easiest times is when he's gotten his act together, when he has his job in order, his living situation under control, he knows where his money is coming from, and he has food on the table and loot in the bank, and his future is looking bright. Is a great time to know when a man is most likely ready, or when he's on the cusp of having all of those things. When you meet a man who does not have a job and does not know where his money is coming from, believe me, that man is in despair. He may not be able to tell it to you. He may not be able to express it to you, especially if he doesn't know you and he doesn't trust you. And even if he does, he doesn't want to seem weak in front of you. But oh, that man is panicking. Think about yourself as a woman and then multiply that by 10, 20, 50, even 100. 100-fold, ladies. Oh, he's going through something very hard inside. And if you look around, even if he is employed, there's so many people losing their jobs that just from that, he could feel a sense of discomfort and a sense of dis-ease, wanting to make sure that he holds his position. Because listen, it's scary. It's scary when somebody else has control of you and your family. As a woman, we are used to looking at somebody as a protector. Right? We're used to that. But when you are the protector and your boss holds the cards of whether or not you'll be able to clothe your baby, oh, honey, that's a scary place to be. So if you ever see a man, oh, don't ask him. If you see a man who looks like he's in trouble, baby, don't ask him if he needs a hug. Oh, baby, hug him anyway. Girl, you don't know what that man is going through, because if you can visibly see on the outside that something is troubling him, honey, oh, you don't know what type of storms there are inside. So go out and hug a man today and then hold him there. Honey, there's heaven in your arms, but make sure you hold him into a tiny piece of heaven today. But ladies, there's also a lot of pieces of heaven around your body. So if this is not a man of whom you've been intimate with, you make sure that you don't hold him in too much of your heaven, if you understand what I mean, because we don't want him rising to the occasion. So if you know what a granny hug is, you make sure you give him a hug, but you embrace him. And for those of you who don't know, I will demonstrate a granny hug. There we go. You stand up straight, you toot out your back, and then you wrap your arms around him and tap him from the top, like that. Because while we want to hug them, we don't want anything reaching back out to hug us too. But really, and when you're hugging them, imagine, just close your eyes and just imagine a light shining down from above you and entering into you and emanating out and surrounding you both. And imagine that this really bright white light encompasses you both and pulls away a lot of that heartache and a lot of that pain and frustration, wraps it up and dissipates it, and then let go. So I hope that this has helped somebody out there. And before I go, I'll tell a quick little anecdote, because I've come to this conclusion over the years, and I'm confident enough to say, don't ask. Even, and you can, and I've hugged people who didn't want hugs before. They may resist a little bit at first, but oh honey, you're just so soft, they can't help themselves. Just hug them. They may be like, no, no, no. Just hug them and let them feel that warm embrace there. You have no idea what that can do for a person. And I'll tell you, when I was in college, there was this guy, and he was so cute in his own right, from California. And you know how back in the days, how Cali people, I don't know if they still got that Cali swag, I don't know, you know, so laid back and all this and the other. I ran into him right around the time that we were all supposed to graduate, and something didn't look right. And I asked him what was up, and you know, he said that there was this one class and he didn't get his credits, and so he wasn't going to be able to graduate, and he looked distraught. You know, he'd spent all of this time in school, and you know, coming out, a lot of the people from Cali were escaping some really horrid situations, and he had come out to college, and I think he had spent the maximum amount of time that he had allotted. There were some things going on back home, and I don't know what was going on, but there was something about not graduating at that time that was devastating for him. And I looked at him and I asked him if he needed a hug. And there was this split second, this micro expression of him, you know, wanting to say yes, he did, you know, but just the mere fact that I asked him if he needed a hug, that then, you know, after that split second, he came back into himself, and he was like, nah, I don't, you know, I'm a man, I don't need, you know, he didn't need a hug or whatnot. And listen, nobody ever needs one, but baby, oh, sometimes people can use one. And I wish, oh, how I wish that I had thrown my arms around him that day. So ladies, go out there and hug yourself a man today. Let me give you a hug that you can pass on. I'm going to imagine a bright white light emanating out from me and reverberating out through the airwaves and encircling both me and you. Hug me and then pass it on. Hug, 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 hug. And I know that you can feel that. You know how I know? Because energy never dies. It's only transferred. And just the intention that I have giving that hug out to you, oh baby, I know that you can feel it too. So listen, stay in touch with me. I love you guys so much. Go out there and love one another. Oh, love one another. But most importantly, what? Oh, that's right, honey. Love yourself. And in loving yourself, oh baby, you love other people too. You love the trees, you love the skies, and you love everything, no matter how big, small, or mundane. When you love yourself, you treat the world with love too. So come over to my Facebook page, facebook.com/TonyaTko show, twitter.com/TonyaTko, and that is what? Tonya with an O. That's right. So get out of here, and go do what? Oh, baby, go out and hug a man today. Peace. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I know you were just about to go off and hug a man right now, but I wanted to come back and say one last thing because I think that this is really important. The reason why I'm talking specifically to you ladies is because I know the mental temptation to think that just because you're soft, that means that you're weak. And just because you're smaller, that it may mean that you're unimportant. But ladies, I wanted to tell you just how strong you really are, and just how powerful you really are. You have no idea what it's like to be in a world full of hardness, and the power and the beauty of coming into contact with something soft. Oh ladies, let me tell you, you are the goddess incarnate. You are an amazing being. It is through you, the portal of life through which every human being on this planet has to pass. And this is what we were made for, oh ladies. So please, I want you to realize just how much power you really have. How much, let me tell you, you have, no, let me get closer. You have no idea just how beautiful and magnificent men think we are. You know, it's an amazing thing, and I know sometimes there's a lot of hurt going on out there, and sometimes we don't realize it. But honey, you need to get into a situation with a person who can help you realize just how magnificent you are. Oh, I hear men talking about women, and it is indescribable. You know, on the surface, when they're out amongst, you know, each other, you know, the things that they talk about are very surface. But the nurturing and the loving that a real woman gives is intoxicating to a man. Oh, he can't give that up. It's like a drug. And it's like a drug that doesn't make you weak, but oh, it makes him strong. And I myself hugged a man today. I hugged a big man, 6'3", 240 maybe. And I saw him, and when I saw him, at first he looked a little tired until I grabbed him in my embrace. And oh, he tried to resist at first, because, you know, he's like, no, I'm okay, you know, nothing is wrong with me. But oh, my arms are big. Let me just tell you, no matter how tall you are, the span of your arms is your height from head to toe. So I have a 5'5" span, and I wrapped this span around him, and I held him, and I could feel his energy, which was once depleted. And when I let him go, oh baby, he was standing up just a little bit taller, and his back was just a little bit straighter, and oh, his head was just a little bit higher. So ladies, I know, you know, I talk in my videos about my life lessons, and baby, I know just how powerful this softness is. So ladies, on that note, go for real this time. Go hug yourself a man today, and report in the comments how that went for you. Seriously, report back. And men, please, can I get a witness? Somebody, I need somebody to testify. I'm out of here now. TonyaTko, and I'm out. Peace. Oh, and don't you love my hugs too? I'm out of here. Peace.